So we have made it to the end of our sprint. We are still in the sprint, but we've made it to the end of the sprint. And that means that we need to do two things before the sprint can be marked as complete. We need to do a sprint review in which we show off the product increment. Remember, this is our last sort of artifact. So our product increment is sort of the last part here. We have created that through the sprint, and now we're ready to show it off. And with that, we need to do a few things. To show it off, we do a sprint review. Who comes to the sprint review? Everyone. Your product owner, your scrum master, your dev team, the stakeholders, so the client, or if you have a couple managers that manage the sprint teams, those people. If they have people that are commanding them, those people, everyone comes to the sprint review. And so what you're going to do, you're going to start off by quickly giving a review of the sprint results. This means you're going to tell them what went good, what didn't get good, maybe some things got left out. So like maybe they said we were going to complete all of this stuff and we completed most of it, but this task didn't get completed. So you're going to tell them about that. You're going to tell them why it didn't get completed. Either the time crunch was too much, or maybe we ran into some technical problems, some pain points you weren't expecting. So you're going to try to explain why that needs to be pushed off, stuff like that. You don't want to make this a habit to always have stuff like this, but every once in a while, it's fine. I mean, stuff happens. Things get wrong. Things don't get completed. That's perfectly fine as long as you're continually improving and making sure this isn't a common thing. Once you have reviewed the sprint results with everyone, you're going to discuss and demonstrate the work. And who is doing this? Reviewing the sprint results, the Scrum Master might come in and they're going to say, okay, we're going to begin reviewing the sprint results. The best people to do this is going to be maybe our dev team, or maybe the product owner, whoever he thinks is best to demonstrate this. He's going to maybe bring up he's going to keep the meeting going. So he's going to say, this person did best, bring them in. Now we're going to discuss and demonstrate work. So the Scrum Master's next step is they're going to say, okay, everything has gone according to plan. Let's now show off the work. This is going to be a collaborative thing. It's going to be a show and tell, but also it's going to be a play with. So if it's a app, you're going to have everyone download the app, or you're going to have maybe some phones ready to show the app off, and you're going to hand them to all the people so they can play with the app and they can go along with you. We added this feature where if you click, you can now log in. We have the servers ready to go. We now have an account set up. All of that stuff. So you're going to discuss it. You're going to demonstrate the work. You might point out some areas, say, remember how we were talking about this button right here? We discovered that if we add that button in, it's going to make things slower. So we need to discuss that in the future. Or maybe this button, we decided a new color scheme was probably best. We should talk about that, if the color scheme would work with your business, stuff like that. You're going to demonstrate it. You're going to have an open discussion. Then you're going to update the status of the project. So there's going to be some feedback over here. Some people are going to say, I don't like that. I don't like this over here. I thought we were going this direction. It kind of feels like we're going this direction. And everyone's going to listen along. They're going to make sure that everyone is being heard. Product owner is going to be taking notes the whole time. Going to be asking, okay, well, if that's the case, with our product backlog, do we need to reorganize the product backlog a little? Maybe there's some priorities have changed. Maybe you want some things and you don't want some other things. She or he is going to talk to these people that are all here, and they're going to start collaborating on what's the next thing we should do. And that's where you get to number 4. We're going to update the status. We're going to make sure that everyone's on the same page. The product backlog is going to get updated from the PO's notes. And then we're going to go to collaborating on the plan. So everyone is here. Might as well just have a little discussion on where the app, piece of technology, architecture plans, where everything is at and where they want to go. We're going to, ask the questions. Scrum Master is going to pose some questions. Do you feel like we're on a good path? Do you feel like this is what you wanted to get created? If not, how do we get back on the right path? What should we do in the future? Things like that. And so you're going to answer these questions. The only thing that doesn't happen here is team or Scrum team improvements. Like, let's say during development, you realize that we spent way too much time looking for documentation. That stuff doesn't come up over here. It's all going to be about the product itself. The sprint review is about the product increment and the product itself. So how can we make the product better in our next increment? How can we organize our priorities to make sure we're doing the most efficient work possible? And then we're going to create ourselves a plan and get ready for our next sprint and implement those so that each time we do Agile, we're a little bit better. over and over. You know, a good way to think of sort of our effectiveness is like a triangle, where an upside down triangle, where over time we're trying to extend the amount of stuff, the efficiency, our levels, our abilities, the organization, the flow of the team every single time. And so, you know, we start off with a team capable of this, and then we're a team capable of this in the next sprint, and this in the next sprint, and this in the next sprint. And ideally, this keeps getting bigger until, of course, there's going to be at some point a limit reached where you're just going to make very tiny incremental changes after that. But it's going to get better and better and better, and your team should be getting better and better, and the product should be getting better. So this is all about sprint review, going over the product, making sure we're on the right path with the product, and how do we improve the product.